Hi there. Just thought I would give a quick update. I know I have recorded in the past about gastroparesis and that there was a possibility that this was something I was going to be diagnosed with. So I have been tested for both gastroparesis and I had a PET scan done. Thankfully, both of those were normal. So I'm normal. Yay. I know that a lot of people are going to question that. But no, that's a blessing. So my final official diagnosis is chronic pancreatitis with EPI, Exocrine Pancreatic Insufficiency, and severe protein calorie malnutrition. It's been very difficult to explain to people, and honestly, I have looked everywhere on the internet for videos, anything I can find on having those three things together. It's not uncommon to get EPI. The severe protein calorie malnutrition is something a little more serious. I think it's a little more difficult to get into. My issue was all of this kind of started after my gallbladder was removed, and I think it's important that people know that. Really, I think that whether or not it's done intentionally, there is kind of this medical mill of let's get you in, get your gallbladder out, and let's make some money off of it. I'm not saying that's what all doctors do, but it seems like there is a concerted effort to do that. I was having mild back discomfort when mine was suggested to be removed, and when they removed it, the first thing I felt when I woke up was this horrible stabbing pain in my back. I actually thought the doctor had left an instrument in my back. And I've been a paralegal since 1991. I am not a litigious person. And I asked the nurse when I woke up, I said, "What is this pain in my back?" And she said it might have been the air because, I did have it done laparoscopically, but it wasn't the arm pain. It was across my back. I now know what that pain is. That my pancreas was on fire. I didn't know because I'd never had a pancreatic attack until that moment. And so talking with my GI doctor now, he said that most likely was a reactive pancreatitis from the surgery. It is a known complication. I wasn't told about it, but I'm sure it was probably in the literature, the release forms that I signed. I have no doubt it was probably in there. I'm trying to understand why my doctor wouldn't just say that. And I know that, again, I brought up the paralegal thing because I did work in insurance defense medical malpractice. So I've seen just about everything people can sue for. And I get that he probably in his mind was thinking about that. It's sad now that we've gotten so litigious as a society that our doctors have to think about getting sued before they can answer a question. But he would just look at me and say, "I can't give you anything for pain." I didn't ask for anything for pain. I wanted to know why my back was on fire. So moving forward to now, that is when I know exactly after they took that gallbladder out, my bathroom experiences have never been the same since then. I have not had a normal since that time. You guys, that was in 2015. I have been 10 years in the bathroom not knowing that I wasn't absorbing nutrients. So if you're ever in diarrhea, you are not absorbing nutrients. You don't want to be in diarrhea longer than a week. And I've been in diarrhea for 10 years. So this is why I'm now severely malnourished. I have lost probably about close to 20 pounds, maybe a little over 20 pounds. And by the way, you don't have to be emaciated to be malnourished. It's getting impossible for me now to eat with the EPI. I look at food and I told my husband, it's it's an aversion. I'll look at it and I don't want to eat it. I get physically sick just looking at it. And then when I do try to eat it, I can only get a couple bites in. And I call this when I'm in aversion because I'm now on, they have me on Creon. I try to take my Creon every time I eat. The problem with Creon is it throws you into constipation. So damned if you do, damned if you don't. You're miserable in constipation. But my doctor did put me on magnesium citrate, so that does help. But you have to be careful with that as well, because that can throw me right back into diarrhea. And just because you're on the Creon doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to have diarrhea, because I'll have it even if I'm not taking the magnesium citrate sometimes. The majority of times, if I take it, it will throw me into constipation. So you have this cycle of trying to eat and trying to keep it in, trying to get nutrition, and not wanting to eat, making myself eat. I don't get the cues anymore to eat. So either Daniel will come in, hey, have you eaten? I'm like, oh yeah, or I have to set alarms on my phone. And then I'm lucky to get bites in. Now, I will say I do take medical marijuana. I take it at night. I take a gummy or two. And that does help. It helps my moods, because I've become very apathetic with the malnutrition. And it's something I put into Dr. Google. I said, look, I'm in severe protein calorie malnutrition. I'm starting to get these tremors. Like every once in a while, I'll just start like this. I'm going, what am I saying yes to? I have no idea. I'm just like, and then you have to kind of go, okay, I probably need to eat my blood sugars down, because I am pre-diabetic because of the pancreas failing. It really has been a lot. And I think this is more just a journal for me. I don't really expect anybody to watch it, but I really hope it does help people, because I can't find anything. This is miserable. Prognosis, 10 to 15 years after diagnosis. I've been in this for 10 years. I know my time here is short, so I don't know if this is going to be for my family, whatever. Somebody else, hopefully this will help. Maybe it'll help doctors. I don't know. But what I can tell you is I feel a little dismissed by the medical community, because I do look healthier. But I can tell you, yesterday afternoon, I was crashing. I crash most afternoons, and for me, that looks like I get a headache. Sometimes I get hyperthermic is the only way I know how to say it. I'll start getting the shakes, and I'll get extremely cold because my visceral fat's almost non-existent anymore. My body has started to get nutrients from my tissue and organs, and I just don't know how sustainable that is. And I don't mean to be a negative Nelly. I am taking my medication. I'm following doctor's orders, and it just seems my body is maybe a little farther gone than I would like to accept. So my husband has a photo shoot the next couple of days, and when he's done with that, we're probably gonna look into a feeding tube, just because I know I'm in trouble. That's the only way I know how to say it. And I don't say that to make anybody nervous or scared, or I don't want to be scared. I've kind of made peace with all that. I'm 56. I'm not long for this world. Anyway, I'm on the other side of it, but 15 to 20 years, that's I'll be in my late 70s, maybe. That's a good long life. And if I go sooner than that, then I do. If you see this and I have gone, maybe reach out to my husband and encourage him. He has been amazing. I can't say enough wonderful things about the man. Because when you're like this, your brain doesn't work as well. So I'm struggling to find words. Nothing seems to really work that well. And so you do get emotional. I'm very apathetic. My desire to do anything is just gone. I used to build businesses and do karaoke, had a karaoke show, and I don't even have a desire to go out of the house much anymore. So it's frightening, it's scary, and you can hear I'm shaking right now because I'm a little cold. Sorry. But I don't know, if you're out there and you're struggling with chronic pancreatitis and EPI and malnutrition, I don't think it's a very big club. It's not one I'm wanted to be in, but I'm in it. And, we all have our bag of rocks. I'm so glad it wasn't cancer. I do have the gene I found out from both of my parents, same exact gene for pancreatic cancer. And my mom's brother just passed away from pancreatic cancer. I think he found out and was gone in like 2 months. So at least I have a base PET scan moving forward if I need it. And I don't know. I'm just trying to figure this all out. If you guys have any advice, I do try to take the protein shakes, but you can't reverse malnutrition with a protein shake. So, yeah, I'm going to go and I'll figure out what the doctor says he thinks, if I'm at the point where I need that. And if so, we'll deal with it then. But I'm kind of nervous now to go out for any length of time because in big crowds, I don't want to catch anything and get an infection. People in malnutrition are susceptible to that, and it could really affect you. So anyway, all that to say, I hope you guys are doing well. I am letting my hair grow gray, let my gray grow out. I'll probably cover it later. But right now, I can't focus on anything other than trying to get some work done. I am a mobile notary and an online notary, so that's a blessing, the online part of it, because I can notarize anyone anywhere in the world. But I had to give up my karaoke show because I was taking anywhere from 10 to 23,000 steps a show and not eating anything, and so I was burning so much I had gotten down to like 103 pounds. I'm probably right now about at 106. I've gained a little bit since I've stopped the shows. That was back in July. And it was my heart. I loved doing it. I loved making people happy. It sucked having to close it. And, we're out a good bit of money every month now because of that. But I'm having to figure it out, and I'll find other ways to do it. But luckily, the online notary thing I can do. I'm also a realtor, but I will say it's been a challenge. The stress of real estate is up there. And there are days I feel nauseated till 2 in the afternoon and don't even want to get out of the house. So anyway, I want to be in this with you guys and help you any way I can. And maybe if we put our heads together, we can figure this thing out. But until then, that's kind of where I am now. And not feeling bad or sorry for me or anything like that. It's just, it is what it is. I'm just kind of getting out the emotion of it, and we'll get through it. So be well, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one.